Welcome back. Time for Newsline proper. For a woman, you need to be thick-skinned to thrive in a business mostly patronized by men. Zainab Agbola, our correspondent in Bauchi, came across a woman in the state who is determined to shine as a tea vendor, a business dominated by men. Zainab, tell us about her and how she's faring.
Aisha Baba Ahmad alias Jirgin Talakawa is Fulani by tribe from Jimeta in Adamawa State. She's the first daughter of her mother's 7 children and got married at an early age. She later enrolled herself into the adult education at Kengere in Bauchi up to Bayero University, where she obtained a diploma in mass communication. Aisha hasn't seen it any wrong to make ends meet by becoming a tea vendor, a business known to be managed by men.
Yaran yanzu suka fara girma, yanzu suka fara aiki, yanzu kowa ya fara yin gida.
Paying bills is an Herculean task. I want to be able to pay my bills without disturbing my children.
Sun uku yaran mutane sun kai gidansu. Ke ai wata rana wannan abun ba zai yi ba.
Aisha, a mother of 5, said her tea vendor business is not without some challenges. I know it's surprising, looking at the type of business I do. Women look at me in an offensive way, but I will persevere. I know a lot of people, but I won't beg. Her children said they are proud of her and described her as their role model.
It's not a surprise, something to see a woman like her being into that kind of business. Our religion and traditional costumes is not against it. So it's not something to be, I'm happy for that.
It's better than begging or stealing. I am proud of her.
Kuma irin wannan halin da muke ciki ma na matsi da waye tattalin rayuwa ni kan da mutun yayi bara ko sata a kama shi kamma irin wannan business din nata.
Most of the customers that patronize these tea shops said it is the amazing story behind the tea shop that captured their attention.
This is my first time seeing a woman making chai. Wallahi, gaskiya shayin shi yana dadi sosai.
This woman should be an example to them, seriously, because I know I've not today. I've known her more than 7 years, and she's been a wonderful woman. I'm even surprised seeing her selling chai. Wallahi, I'm even surprised. Wallahi. I advise other women to be like her.
I
enjoy the tea a lot because of its herbal mixture. We thought she was joking until she started selling. The tea is good.
Haja Aisha makes her own living and her own opportunity. She is actually a role model for women, not to sit down and wait for opportunities to come.
And I'm sure she'll add that feminine touch. It will be different. Now, a quote by William Shakespeare which says, "No legacy is so rich as honesty," always resonates. Now, toeing this path has raised the status of Awal Salisu, a Kano tricycle rider, to levels he least expected and within 1 week. Yes, his honesty, patriotism, and contentment paid off. Aminu Umar has a feature on how Awal's life changed after he returned millions of naira forgotten in his tricycle to the owner.
Who was able to resist the temptation associated with this material world to support the decision of his wife and son to return the millions in foreign and local currency.
I want to appeal to youths to please be contented and look for acceptable means of livelihood.
This is one of the sessions organized to recognize Awal's honesty and good representation of his society. This one was at the instance of Kano chapter of the Arewa Consultative Forum, as the young Awal, the man of the moment, was called to sit in the midst of the leadership.
We would also like to present his father, because the fact that he has returned the money we should also give the credit more to his father, because it means he has given him good moral training.
The session was used to present to him a token. Prior to this one, an anonymous and concerned citizen of Kano has presented a brand new tricycle to Awal, who hitherto had to rely on another hired rider, now turned to a proud owner of a tricycle and a scholarship from the same person to continue from where he dropped as a result of financial inability of his parents to support his secondary education. In addition to many anonymous gifts in cash and kind, with donation of food items, Kano State House of Assembly also in one of its sessions pledged to raise funds for the 21-year-old Awal for making Kano proud.
I call on the state government to do something, and I call on members of the House to allow this person to come to this honor chamber and take a vow and get a commendation letter from this House on behalf of us.
Awal's honesty has also drawn the attention of Kano State Anti-Corruption Agency, and now Awal is decorated as an ambassador of the agency. However, like any other issue in this era of modern media, fake and fabricated news is inevitable. Foremost among them was a fabricated story of being gifted a house by Hajia Maria. There was also another report of marriage offer, but Awal said none of them reached out to him. However, the radio is working towards organizing a fundraising to secure a moderate accommodation for Awal and his family. With this, Awal now has no regret in his decision, which he believes pays him and his parents, as it brings honor to both and his state, in addition to playing a good diplomacy for Nigeria, as the money belongs to non-Nigerians who were in Kano for a business.
Honesty is the best policy. Do you want to debate that? Now see how he's shining everywhere. Way to go. Disability does not define one's intelligence or cognitive abilities. Individuals with disabilities have diverse strengths and talents despite the challenges they face. While their disabilities may affect their physical, sensory, or cognitive functions, it is crucial to recognize their intellectual potential. It still remains intact. In this report, Adamu Sunday will tell us about Halima Usman Jibrin, who, despite her disability, is able to acknowledge her strength and has carved a niche for herself in catering. And you won't believe how she does what she does.
24-year-old Halima Usman Jibrin, also known as the Blind Chef, is the daughter of former military administrator of Kaduna State, retired Group Captain Usman Jibrin, and the 21st in the family of 24.
I was born with blindness.
Halima Usman, an indigene of Nasarawa State and the CEO of Blind Kitchen Creation, says she picked interest in cooking from her mother.
I started cooking since childhood.
Despite the challenge, she is able to take advantage of social media to reach prospective clients.
I advertise online, so I get clients through the social medias, and then my brothers, my sisters, my family, my friends, they refer me to people.
Halima, whose dream is to become a well-known chef in the world, speaks on what makes her happy and sad.
Whenever I'm in the kitchen cooking, so there is this different happiness, this extreme happiness that I feel. And then whenever my mom, I see her, or maybe even if she travels, if I hear her voice, whenever I see my persons with disability begging on the street, it touches my heart.
After school, what next?
After school, masters, and I would like to find a very good job, and then marriage.
A 300-level student in the Department of Mass Communication, Kaduna State University, says, in spite of the numerous obstacles faced on a daily basis, her unwavering spirit allows her to adapt, learn and grow in her business and academics. Out of curiosity, I decided to visit her in school to find out how she copes academically.
I use my phone to record the lectures. Then if I go home, I'll then use my Braille machine and then copy the notes, and then I'll read them using Braille. So I use typewriter for the test and exams, and even if I do not understand anything, I'll I'll just go and meet the lecturer to explain more.
Halima is always attentive in class.
She's very good in her studies. She's always trying to be like every other human being.
One amazing thing is that she calls me by name whenever I call her on the phone.
When you called me, it said the phone say Mr. Sunday NTA is calling. My message for to people living with disability out there is I believe everyone has his or her talent. He has something that he knows how to do well. So they should find what their talent is and they should engage themselves in it.
My encounter with Halima has indeed changed my mentality that there is ability in every disability. If Halima, despite her challenge, is excelling in her business and academics, you too can do it.
I am so proud of her. I'm so proud of her. And look, you have no excuse. Do you know she even markets her business online? Imagine. So if you're sitting down there and having 1,000,001 excuse, you have to change that. Nigeria is gradually embracing cleaner energy and joining the international community to reduce over-reliance on petrol. We definitely cannot phase out petrol, but having options that are cleaner is pertinent. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya in this report tells us about the conversion of petrol engine bus to an electric vehicle by engineers from the Kwara State University. Yes, you heard right here in Nigeria.
Conversion of a petrol engine bus to an electric-driven one by the engineers at State University Center for Sustainable Energy seems to have come at the right time to ease the challenges brought by the removal of subsidy on petrol in the country. The federal government's drive of diversifying from over-dependence on petrol to gas and electric-powered vehicles is beginning to come to fruition in Kwara State through the efforts of engineers at the Kwara State University. Abdulaziz Akande, an engineer, is the brain behind the innovation. He explains the functionality and materials sourced for the electric vehicle.
Trying to reduce the emission from our vehicles. That is why we started work on this project. So it is calculated in terms of kilometer that you needed to cover. Secondly, just like we use our phones, it's not compulsory your phone is 100% charged before you can use it. Which means when you just plug to charge, and I've charged for 15 minutes, this 15-minute charging can take me for a distance of 70 kilometers. You don't need to wait. You just charge for that. After 15 minutes, I can move 70 kilometer distance. You can drive to anywhere you are going. And when you have a source of electricity, you can just plug to charge. It's not compulsory to use solar. You can use PACN, you can use generator, anything. Just to get a source of single-phase electricity supply, you are good to go.
With the feat by the Citadel of Learning, it is not resting on its oars in breaking more ground in the ever-evolving driven world of technology.
There's a center in the university called Center for Sustainable Energy. That's where the technicians there, where they try to convert a gasoline vehicle to an electric vehicle. And to our surprise, the HM himself became interested. And they said we should do a proposal such that some vehicle from the government house can also be converted. Our plan is to commercialize it such that it will also add to the IGR of the university. I also told them that, is it possible, rather than converting a branded vehicle, is it possible to even build it such that it will be our own brand? And I think that's what they are working on right away. So hopefully, they will also come up with that such that we don't have to convert, we will build so that it will be Kwasu brand.
If other engineering firms and higher institutions can take a cue from this giant achievement of the Kwara State University, the nation will be better for it.
We are indeed making progress, and this is remarkable. Now, for over 50 years now, after the Nigeria-China diplomatic gateway swung open, both governments have enabled boundless opportunities which have significantly contributed to development in different sectors in Nigeria. Vice President Kashim Shettima made this statement in his speech on harmony and diversity, a toast to the Nigeria-China relations at the Mid-Autumn Festival and National Day celebration of China in Lagos, where he was also honored. Adiola Komi-Akere witnessed the day, which she termed beautiful and a showcase of Chinese culture.
The Chinese Mid-Autumn, or the Mooncake Festival, is the second most important festival in China.
This is the first year after pandemic period, so it's very important to all the Chinese working in Nigeria.
Nigeria is more or less is our second home, where we will have the time to get together.
It is a time for reunion with families, and it symbolizes the yearnings and memories of their hometown. This is just the tip of the iceberg, as the Chinese lined up an array of interesting activities to celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival and 74th National Day. The celebration had in attendance Vice President Kashim Shettima, represented by the Minister of State, Steel Development, Deputy Governor of Gombe State, among other dignitaries that came to felicitate with the people of China resident in Nigeria. Beyond the ceremony are mutually beneficial opportunities, and Nigeria, being a major recipient of Chinese gesture, showed solidarity as depicted by the exchange of cultural affinities.
I'm sure you saw real infusion of both cultures, Nigeria and China's. That goes to say that if we collaborate, we can do so many things together on the positive note. And that is where President Ahmed Bola Tinubu is taking Nigeria, collaborating with nations who are prosperous and industrious to take Nigeria to its proper position on the global scale.
These times they teach a lot of excellent Nigerian students and send them to China, and so they not only can improve their Chinese language level, but also can improve their knowledge about Chinese history.
They're really showing actually the main purpose of their coming into this country, to add value, also in terms of cultural exchange.
The Chinese celebration colorful display was scintillating and no doubt eye-catching. A dance drama depicting the major Nigerian ethnic groups and the need for unity even in our diversity was also a delight to the distinguished guests. And not forgetting what the Chinese are known for, martial arts. The skills were displayed by Edo State Wushu Kung Fu, led by Friday Usazua. The Chinese ambassador to Nigeria was not left out, as she took part in an elegant display of the Chinese culture by Chinese women. Even the Vice President's representative also joined the Chinese ambassador to render melodious tunes. The celebration witnessed 70 students from low-income families across Nigeria receiving 100,000 naira each as bursary from the Chinese government.
Weida. That's great in Chinese language, and I was waiting for Diola to say something in Chinese, but she didn't. And China and Nigeria, we have a lot in common in terms of culture. We'll take a break now. Newsline will continue shortly. Thanks for being there. In Nigeria's television industry, the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, is second to none for its wider reach and impact it has been making over the years on the lives of people, both young and old. Take a look at the history of Nigeria's broadcast industry. You will find NTA dominating the space. Senator Shehu Sani of the 8th Senate recently highlighted one of such historical perspective in television broadcasting. He also brought to the fore the need to give special attention to our past as we look towards the future. Mohammed Lawan Baba takes it from here.
Take good care of your mother while I'm away.
Where is your car? Nachik.
These programs such as Magana Jariche, Kokro at Dawn, Village Headmaster, Samanja, Festac 77, The Masquerade, Mind Your Language, Kasagi, were transmitted on the largest network in Africa for over 40 years for entertainment, education, and enlightenment. Even at that, viewers were not denied of political programs such as campaigns by Obafemi Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Aminu Kano, Shehu Shagari, leading to the transition to Second Republic, elections, among others. Quite amazing, you may say. Senator Shehu Sani inherited this Sony TV set from his late father 50 years ago and is still intact, though not functional. This reverberates his mind down memory lane. He recalls how NTA carried those days with educating, entertaining, and nationalistic programs.
Nobody that is in position of authority, whether as a president, a minister, senator, or governor, that has not benefited from knowledge from the Nigerian Television Authority. One thing we know very well, that they are a museum of our own history. That whatever you see today about our past, about our history, about our turbulence and journey as a nation, must have been sourced from the Nigerian Television Authority.
Suleiman Muhammad Kaura and Abdul Aziz Ahmed Kadir are veteran journalists.
Programming news reportage, excellent that time. Excellent. Because the manpower was very powerful. They were committed. So they were doing their best to ensure that their problem or their concern was the audience.
You want to get content, you still go to NTA to get certain content. Take it or leave it. Are you looking for old hands? You still have them with NTA. But I tell people, if you want to know what government policies is, you want to know what is happening at the grassroots, watch NTA.
Obinna Anabrawi, Omul Khair Sagir, and Dennis Edokyi are between the ages of 25 to 30 years. I threw this question to them. Why do they patronize foreign channels above local stations?
Their packaging is different from our homemade packaging of how we package our news.
We can improve ours by learning from them.
When you are watching the Sky Sport or the Super Sport, there you get to watch on the English Premier League, on the Spanish La Liga, the UEFA Champions League, which is very hard to view on some of the Nigeria local stations.
Senator Shehu Sani, Suleiman Kaura, and Abdul Aziz Kadir added, NTA have come a long way, but much need to be done.
NTA can still reinvent itself and make it a darling of. And one of the strongest things it will do is to improve on its online content.
You have to be motivated adequately so that you can serve your nation well.
NTA need to actually spend money on its staff.
For me, I'm proud to be part of this journey of the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA, as a role model in broadcast industry.
We still have the widest reach and we're making impact And of course, we're expanding our horizon. Integrity, honesty, and other forms of prescribed ethical conduct remain the virtues that so many Nigerians cherish and promote, despite the perceived decay in moral standards by the few who portray the country in bad light. Now, a professor of political science from Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, who was a visiting lecturer at the Nigerian Defense Academy NDA, returned to the authority the sum of 1,153,000 naira. He has been commended for exhibiting high moral standards. Suraj Abdullahi gathered a lot relating to the topic and questions. Let's hear what he has said.
When Commandant of the Nigerian Defense Academy, NDA, Major General John Ochai, wrote a commendation letter lauding the exemplary character of Professor Umar Muhammad Kauji for returning the sum of 1,153,953 naira 36 kobo. Many Nigerians who come across the commendation letter have this question on their lips: who is this man, Professor Umar Muhammad Kauji? To answer this question, NTA visited Ahmadu Bello's University Zaria, where the professor works as lecturer, and his colleagues, most of whom were his students, described the man as someone with high integrity and honesty.
Professor Kauji has one time returned a salary of 60,000 naira that was overpaid to him.
He's kind-hearted. He can also be very firm and principled on issues, but he's generally a very nice man.
To confirm this testimony, Nigerian Defense Academy stated reasons why such character should be commended.
My commandant, Major General J.O. Ochai, is a man that appreciates good work, commitment, and integrity. Hence the commendation letter he sent to this man to appreciate him as an individual for being humble and honest.
Professor Umar Muhammad Kauji sees nothing to celebrate in connection with this commendation. As he says, he owes Nigeria total allegiance, and that should be demonstrated in all his dealings, calling for the promotion of good virtues by all.
In my opinion, commendation should go, in fact, superlative commendation should go to the commandants. That means the commandant himself appreciates honesty, probity, and accountability. I'm happy he is now going to socialize our cadets, our future military elite, into that kind of thinking, so that we have a military that is not just motivated by materialism, but by patriotism, by sincerity to serve their fatherland.
Aside Kauji's integrity case, there are millions of Nigerians with high integrity and honesty and are doing the country proud in their various fields of endeavor.
Despite the negative stories out there, we have many Nigerians who are very honest. We also have Nigerians who do a lot when it comes to humanitarian activities. Now, she is an Isoko woman from the Niger Delta, but her quest for peace in Nigeria has seen her traverse several states in the country, building bridges across communities. That is the story of Dr. Josephine Ogali Abraham. Her humanitarian gestures in northern part of Nigeria is one of the reasons Arewa Youth Consultative Council has chosen to honor her as a peace ambassador and icon for youth in the country. Ekene Ndulio has the full story.
Come on, let's protect Nigeria.
That was Josephine Abraham in one of her songs, Where Will You Run To?, asking pertinent questions on nationhood. Her various works have seen her promote patriotism and discourage violence in any form. Dr. Josephine Abraham is the founder, Love to the World Initiative, an organization dedicated to help the needy and promote unity in the country. the peace and reorientation concepts in Kaduna State, and her intervention in Kogi and Niger states during the flood crisis are some of her works that stand out. But what drives her to do the things she does?
It was possible for God to make you a British person if He wanted you to be that. But He made you a Nigerian, and He placed you here, placed you in the very environment where you are now. So your service to God is actually your service to humanity around you.
These acts of patriotism are not lost on Arewa Youth Consultative Council, a sociocultural youth organization with influence in the 19 states of northern Nigeria. And they believe that with more people like Dr. Josephine Abraham in Nigeria, narratives of hate, terror, and violence will reduce to the minimum. And so, they gathered in Abuja to confer on her the title of Peace Ambassador, marking her installation into the AYCC Hall of Fame as a mentor.
So we felt the youth from northern Nigeria need to reach out to people of southern origin. And we are also calling for other youth from southern origin to start identifying people from northern Nigeria for this kind of appreciation. By doing this, we are trying to create a new beginning.
What we need in Nigeria today are people who will build bridges.
One of the people said she was incorruptible. That is because of her deep Christian roots. And she believes that whatever you do, you are doing it for God.
An elated Josephine is hoping that the younger generation of Nigerians will also answer the call of patriotism when they are called.
So don't be afraid.
We need to celebrate people like this, very important. The Kanuris, or Bari Bari, found in Borno and Yobe states, as well as Niger Republic, have for centuries been known for Islamic scholarship, having come into contact with the Arabs in the course of the transatlantic trade. Correspondent Muhammad Abubakar says this unique means of preserving the Holy Scripture, perfected by this ethnic group, has stood the test of time despite advancement in technology. Let's hear from him.
Like in every Muslim community, it is a pride and honor to the Kanuris for a child to memorize the Holy Quran, the divine book of the Muslim faithful across the globe. Made up of 114 chapters, of which 27 were believed to be divinely revealed to Prophet Muhammad while he was in Mecca, and the other 87 after he migrated to Medina. Altogether, the Quran has 79,436 words and 6,214 verses. The Kanuris, believed to be the first people to be in contact with Islam in Nigeria, have a unique way of preserving the Holy Book through painstakingly handwriting the manuscript, a method inherited for centuries from their forefathers.
For a person to be able to write the Holy Quran using his or her hands, the entire letters, verses, and chapters must be committed to memory. It also means he or she knows every part, be it even a dot it contains.
What does it take to use hand to write the Holy Quran is the question put to Abba Bashir Dankellori, PhD, and Gwani Adam, whose Zangaya or Islamic school in Maiduguri is one out of about 5,000 that specialize in coaching young people and adults alike to master everything about the Holy Book.
The person to use hand to write the Holy Quran, he or she must know the entire 79,436 words and 6,214 verses, among other stipulations. This process emanated right from the days of Caliph Umar. It is important to note that one's ability to speak or write good Arabic does not in any way qualify him or her to engage in writing the Holy Book.
They share with NTA the basic instruments required to write in the manuscript.
The simple instrument a person required for the task of using his hands to write the Holy Quran are ink that are of 4 different colors, notably red, yellow, green, and black. There is also a compass and a wooden pen.
How long does it take a person to finish writing a copy
owing to the technicalities involved.
I have had a person who I learned used to finish writing a complete copy of the Holy Quran within 2 weeks. But I can confirm to you that 2 months are usually what it takes to write a copy of the Holy Quran, even among the best of writers.
Classification is another issue that determines its value and appeal, as confirmed Dr. Dankel Lori.
Whenever copies of the handwritten Quran are presented, it is the quality as it relates to clarity and art that determine its class and therefore price. The price ranges from 50,000 to 250,000 naira.
Professor Adam Ajiri of Islamic Studies Department, University of Maiduguri, comment on why Maiduguri leads in the production of handwritten Quran.
First, we need to see the penetration of Islam into Kano Borno. Muslim scholars have clearly mentioned that within the first 100 century of Islam, Islam has already penetrated into Kano Borno.
Very impressive, and to think that it dates back to this trans-Saharan trade era, not actually transatlantic. Very key. Now, avocado, otherwise known as African pear, has been recommended as an essential fruit that contributes greatly to healthy diets and skin-friendly cosmetic products. And I'm sure a lot of women are ready to listen. In recognition of the numerous health and economic importance of this fruit, and experts are calling for sustainable farming of avocado. And I'm sure some people are saying, okay, because we're only thinking of the farming aspect. Ifeoma Ihoje has more on the health benefits of avocado pear and how best to consume it.
Avocado, the African pear, is a well-known plant in West Africa that is said to contribute immensely to the local and community trade during its season. Also known as alligator plant or butter fruit, avocados are classified as a type of berry that contains a wide range of nutrients and have various health benefits.
It contains macronutrients and micronutrients. Some of the macronutrients are contains fat, proteins, and carbohydrates. Then the micronutrients contains several vitamins and minerals, such as vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin B3, B6, B2, vitamin K, and also folate, which is folic acid.
Experts say avocados could improve digestion, lower the risk of depression, prevent bone loss, support heart health, and protect against cancers. Another avocado superpower is preventing and repairing damage.
It helps, for healthy lives, reduces cholesterol level, and aids great division because it contains beta-carotenoids. Beta-carotenoids and alpha-carotenoids, the body will convert them to vitamin A. So it also contains vitamin A, so it aids vision. It supports fetal healthy development of the unborn baby. It improves digestion, prevents diabetes complication. It helps to manage body weight and contains anti-inflammatory and antioxidant.
It's making body to smooth. It's giving fresh life. That is what is working.
Though this special fruit can be very expensive when not in season, for its nutritious benefit, avocados have found their way into various meals of the day. They smile with desserts effortlessly, replace calorie-laden oils like mayonnaise and butter. They also serve as salad dressing and lots more. So, how do you like to take your avocado?
The seed, I used to grind it, dry it, then blend it, do it like coffee, boil it and drink it. It's good.
Like a local style, I put it inside the bread and eat.
To reap the health benefit of these super fruits, Nutrition experts recommend that you take 1 or 2 avocado daily. And if you're looking to burn belly fat, incorporating avocado into your meals may do your waistline some good.
So it is not just about growing it. We gave you a lot of important health tips. Another way you can use avocado is by mashing it and using it with bread, and you saw that in the report. Very delicious. Try it and thank me later. We'll take a break. Newsline will continue shortly. Welcome back. Lagos State government is working with the State Police Command to take advocacy on sexual and gender-based violence to identified communities where the prevalence of the menace is unprecedented. How far-reaching is the advocacy? Musa Toliat would tell us, and initiatives used in the process.
Ikorodu is one of the 5 Ibile divisions in Lagos State where the prevalence of sexual and gender-based violence is unprecedented. The increasing wave of gender-based violence in Ikorodu requires concerted efforts to stem the tide.
The awareness will reduce the issue of gender-based violence in Ikorodu.
So this is the right steps in the right direction with the campaign and the slogan that speak out, not in Lagos, we are going to get a good result.
The Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency is therefore working with Lagos State Police Command to encourage residents to break the culture of silence.
There was a need for members of the public to see that collaboration between the police and the government, working together towards one common goal, which is ultimately to ensure that when people experience violence, they have confidence in the system and they are able to report appropriately.
The Commissioner of Police was represented.
With one complaint does not mean that that is the end. Rather, we go around and dig deep to make sure that everybody is given fair hearing. So that is the position of the police in this aspect of sensitization.
Young residents who are unhappy with the trend of the menace stood to be counted among the advocates against sexual and gender-based violence.
Majority of all the sexual violence that actually happens here actually happens to women and children. So we are here to advocate against it and then report back to our school, then educate our friends and our friends to educate others.
The sensitization work is one of the events lined up to commemorate Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Awareness Month in the state.
This is kind of an awareness we need to amplify because it is crucial. Now, a member of a child trafficking syndicate in Anambra State who is not repentant of his nefarious activities is presently in police net for illegal custody of 3 underage pregnant girls. Chinyere Fesi Okuye, who is following the story, has details. Chinyere, tell us, where are the rescued girls now?
Like, I need his help for money, not because not for me to deliver his house, for him to take the baby. That is not what I planned. And he saw me in one woman's shop and said that I have a business. If I'm coming to stay with him, there's going to look for me a good work doing.
I know when I look at that small girl, I know what child trafficking is all about. They undergo a lot of things. And I'm happy that the law will take its place.
That was how luck ran out on the suspect, Oluchukwu Okafor, who the members of the vigilante group in Umunze, Urumba South local government area of Anambra State say they have been training for the past 3 months. The suspect, who was handed over to the Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Welfare with the 3 rescued victims, alleged that the 3 pregnant girls have no helper as they ran away from their homes when they got the unwanted pregnancy. Hence, he opted to offer them shelter. The commissioner, who commended the facilitators of the arrest, urged members of the public to always say something when they see something to assist relevant authorities achieve desired results.
We're not stopping at all. We are going to keep pushing so that anything, illegal adoption, child trafficking will be a thing of the past, and we are ready to take good care of them until they give birth to their children. Because you might allow them to go, you wouldn't know what will happen next.
They couldn't even stand. They had to get them food to eat. That's where I come in. And I was so devastated because, first of all, the person has to be in jail.
In a confessional statement, the suspect, who says he has been into the business for 2 years, added that they give out the babies at a sum of 300,000 naira or more, depending on the bargaining power of the buyer. The girls are between 14 to 20 years from different states of the Federation. The matter has been handed over to police for further investigation, after which he will be charged.
A case of man's inhumanity to man, and the long arms of the law will catch up with you. Let's take a last round of commercials. Newsline will be back soon. Welcome back. Now listen to this devilish plot that acted out in Maiduguri. 46-year-old Musa Adamu called his wife and mother of their 6 children, Hamsatu Musa, requesting her to meet him at her own farm, that he would assist with the farm work. Gladly, she rushed to the farm with no premonition of what danger lies ahead that could let her never see her beloved children again. Days later, she was found buried in a shallow grave. Pauline Kujevana completes the pathetic story.
Jala community in Maiduguri was thrown into mourning following the gruesome killing of a 45-year-old mother of 6, Hamsatu Musa, in her farmland, where she was buried in a shallow grave. Newsline gathered that Musa Adamu, the husband of the deceased, who is now the prime suspect, claimed to have been abducted by Boko Haram in 2019, but regained freedom in December 2022 and returned home without going through the radicalization program of government. The wife, however, decided not to continue with the marriage on the ground that they have divorced and had resisted several efforts by family members to reconcile them. Matters took a different twist on a fateful day when the estranged husband called her on the phone and requested her to meet him in her farm, a request she obliged. Since then, her whereabouts could not be located until the tragedy of her mother unfolded.
We know he killed her, as he had informed us earlier that if effort is not made to reconcile them, he will do what we will all regret.
We don't have anything to say, only we pray Almighty Allah forgives her shortcomings and grant her al-Jannatul Firdausi.
Her third son, Sadiq, alerted the family members that his father knew the whereabouts of his mother, as he was there when he called, requesting her to meet him at the farm. After the suspected murder, the suspect, Musa Adamu, took 2 of his sons, including Sadiq, and attempted to escape through the bush. But according to the son, they mysteriously ran into python and were chased by it. The boys, who suspected their father was on a diabolic mission, decided to rebel against him and escape from the bush after spending a night there. 2 days after his return from the bush, Sadiq decided to visit his deceased mother's farm in the company of his aunt, and on getting there, he started perceiving a strange smell around the farm, which heightened his curiosity. He kept wandering around until he shockingly discovered a shallow grave in which his mother was buried by her killer. Yours sincerely visited the old stadium in Maiduguri, the scene of the incidents. Of course, wondering how Hamsatu could be killed and buried in a place where record of every person going in and out is being taken at the gates manned by joint security operatives. Smartness should not be underestimated. Meanwhile, the police have exhumed the remains of the deceased for investigation and proper burial right, just as the suspect, now in their custody, confessed to committing the crime.
I killed her because I caught her having fun with a man in the farm, and the man escaped. Whatever punishment due for me, I am ready to take it, as I regret my action.
A repentant Boko Haram terrorist of Dala area, Maiduguri, invited his divorced wife, one Hafsa Musa, aged 45 years, of the same address, to meet him in her farms. Although the case was not reported to the police in time, until few days when a decomposed corpse was discovered by the relatives of the deceased at the farm. The suspect was arrested around Gadabul area of Dala Lawanti Maiduguri by the police.
The slain woman depended on farming to fend for her 6 children that have now been rendered orphans, hence hoping for external support for their education and other necessities.
What a wicked world. Now we are highlighting this story because we don't want to lose sight of it. We are on the case. We showed something on it last week and we are bringing it up again. Her son came down with terminal illness and the only path to recovery was to go through surgery. She took him to a private hospital and after 2 surgeries, her tales of woe began. This is a story of a 13-year-old who lost his life and by falling victim to medical quackery in Lagos. Musa Toliat, who has been monitoring the incident, gives us update.
That happened? When did the small intestine got missing?
The agony of a mother who is desperate to save the life of her 13-year-old son who was battling with missing small intestine. She later found out that taking her son to Obitoks private hospital for 2 different surgeries may have been her greatest undoing, as her worst fear was confirmed at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, where a corrective surgery was later carried out. Concerns expressed on media by the mother of the 13-year-old Adebola Akinbright attracted the attention of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who summoned a medical team to ensure the survival of the boy. An ad hoc committee was also raised at the Lagos House of Assembly to investigate the predicament of Adebola Akinbright.
Looking at the status of the boy today, I'm still worried. I am not a professional, but according to what they are saying, they said there is a gradual. They didn't say he's improving. They said it's a gradual. It's a step by step. That is improving with the drugs they are giving him and all that is improving gradually.
Time was running out for young Adebola and only a transplant would keep him alive.
There are certain other things that may need to be done in terms of definitive measures to save Akinbright's life.
Sadly, on September 19, 2023, the boy gave up the battle as he passed on. At a plenary conducted in indigenous Yoruba language, the ad hoc committee revealed that the doctor, Abayomi Bayewu, of the Obitoks Hospital, who initially performed 2 surgeries on late Adebola, was not a qualified surgeon. We made sure we recorded our interrogation with him. We then asked if he is a certified surgeon before carrying out his first surgery. He said no. We were surprised when he said he was leveraging on his more than 30 years experience in medical practice to carry out the surgeries. Public outrage on the unfortunate incident couldn't have been louder.
I won't blame Lasut because it was when they got to Lasut that they discovered that this boy's small intestine was missing. So the doctors should be able to explain what happened. I mean the first hospital where the operation was carried out. They should be able to explain what happened.
If the mother had not come to social media to tell us that, okay, this is what has happened, so what would have been case of other thousands or millions of persons that is going through the same scenario that could not have an avenue to the social media? I think the government or the state or the medical body should do something very drastic about this situation. We've had enough of this issue of this salient or what do I put now, negligence and lack of proper competence in some private.
The first hospital and the doctors, nurses and ever should be brought to the book, charged to court properly.
With an overwhelming evidence against the identified unqualified surgeon at the disposal of the Lagos lawmakers, it is going to be a very long way from home for the medical doctor.
So sad. Now, this is where we'll end today's episode of Newsline. Thank you for being a part of it, and don't forget that Nigeria is the only nation we have, and we must do all we can to make it grow. So good night, and God bless Nigeria.